Okay, so if you're hearing a bunch of noises because the fan's on, I might actually go turn that off because it's gonna be really loud and you probably won't be able to hear me as much as you'll be able to hear the fan. But it's hot in here, so got a fan. Hi, it's Cara, and today we're going to be filming a review for this gorgeous book, The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. Okay, I'm gonna have to put it down in a minute because too many things I'm trying to hold up and it's not gonna work real well. Sorry, we're on cam again. It's gonna be going all month, but I hope you get used to it. And I hope I get more used to filming on cam because I miss something to stand, like lean my camera against. If you saw what was like on the other side, you would understand why I can't. And okay, let's do it this way. Look, there's my bed and it's really low and I can't like manage to find that many things to make a good tripod. So today we're talking about the Mime Order. You saw the cover just before. This is book 2 in the Bone Season series. I feel like it should have a better name than that. But, and it essentially follows, I'm not going to spoil plot for book 2, but the synopsis of the first book is essentially, like, the world build is essentially following this girl called Paige, who is clairvoyant, and her level of clairvoyancy, as they call it, there's like orders of clairvoyancy. She is a dream walker, which is like one of the highest level clairvoyants, which is pretty rare in the scheme of things, and her power is considered relatively strong, but she still doesn't really understand the full extent to which she can use it. And she's living in a London, it's like a parallel universe London, and then she's like in the underworld with all the, like, clairvoyants are not a good thing, they're outlawed essentially, and they're all living in this underground system of a crime syndicate essentially. And then she gets taken and things get cray-cray. That's about as much plot as I'm going to give you, because you really need to experience the world to, like, you want to go in mostly blind. Admittedly, first book, if you haven't already read the first book, does have a slow beginning and it can be a bit confusing because the author kind of just throws you in the deep end with all this new terminology and you have to kind of get a grasp of it and how it all works in this alternate London that like split apart in the monarchy days, like 1700s or something. I know you really have to kind of get to understand the terminology, but by the time I got to the second book I had like no trouble, and the second book was just so good. Yes, it was amazing. I have a list of things to say. Let me go approach that list. So first off, I thought the characters in this book were really well developed. I thought that Paige, our main character, came so far in this book from the end of the last one. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but if you've read the book, you'll understand what I mean. But the character development was just amazing, both following Paige and the surrounding characters, especially the people in the syndicate, which isn't explored as much in the first book, but is really explored in this book. And it just, all of the developments that everyone made, especially Paige, like all the characters came so far, yet like we're in a totally different position from where we started, but the second book even, but it never felt forced or rushed or anything like that. Sorry, I keep looking to this side because that's where I am. I apologise. I don't know how to fix it. I look like I'm looking wacko, but I don't know how to look into a camera lens. It's weird. But what am I saying? This is going to be the weirdest review you've ever watched, I'm sure. But I felt like, yeah, it was incredibly, incredibly real. It didn't seem forced. It didn't seem rushed. I believed it all, even when it's like out of the world crazy. I still believed it. And I think that's really important with major character development. I also felt the same thing about the plot. Like, major plot twist, didn't see it coming. Well, it's not really a plot twist, but like major plot points that I didn't predict, which I love. But they also didn't feel like they came out of the back room and what's the analogy I'm trying to make? I can't remember. They didn't just hit you and be like, they didn't come out of nowhere. How can I not remember my basic analogies today? The plot never like came out of nowhere and confused you. It was more just really unpredictable, but then you went back and you were like, hang on, that makes sense. All the bits linked together. And that's what I really love. It was just, so good. This is probably the most incoherent review you've ever heard. I've talked about characters. I've kind of talked about world building, but if you didn't get it, I really loved the world building in this series. I really loved the plot. I'm just referring to my list. Oh, I thought the prep for the next book, like the setting up the plot for the next book, was done superbly. At the end of the first one, I didn't really get it. I got that there were all these loose ends left untangled, but it was less of a clear understanding of where we were going to go and like what we were going to come into for this book too. I was like not really sure where we were at. Whereas with this one, the ending really built up to that big ta-da of this is where we're going to go with book 3. And I really loved that. Like, I didn't feel like I was left hanging, but I also felt like I was kind of left hanging. Like, I really want the third one now. And I really enjoyed the ending. I thought it was a really good job, which made the book as a whole a really solid sequel. Like, it just really impressed me with the extent to which it effectively was a sequel. Like, often sequels can fall a bit flat. They haven't got that spark that a first book has, and they haven't got the big conclusion of an ending. So sometimes, especially in a trilogy or a series, so sometimes a book 2 can fall flat. But the way this series is developed, with like each book kind of having its own major plot line within the overall arc in front of my face, this book really worked as a sequel, and I thought it was just amazing. Oh, there was one thing I didn't really love, and I don't know whether it was just the way I was reading it, because I was really busy at the time, but it took me like over a week to read this, which is probably because I was busy. I had holidays, and then I was like I was on a holiday, and then I got back and moved straight into uni, and I had class prep, work, all that kind of stuff. I was busy. I was back with my housemate, and we were being idiots, and I was spending a lot of time not reading. So when I did read, I read little bits at a time, and it kind of made the first half of the book feel slow. But I don't know whether that was actually because it was slow, or whether I was just taking my time reading it, so it felt slow. So my one criticism of this book was that the start was slow. But keep in mind, my reading pattern was off, which very much affects how I view a book. So that could have done the thing. All in all, I gave The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon a solid 5 out of 5 stars. I recommend you pick up this series if you like. Technically, it's adult fantasy. I would say it's suitable for older young adult readers. Like, it reads like a young adult, but I'd say suitable for older young adult readers, like almost a new adult fantasy, if that's a thing that exists. Like in between young adult and adult. Like, it's got mature content-ish, not like the mature content you think, but a lot of violence and swearing. Not a lot, but a bit. And it's mature in themes, kind of, but it also reads like a young adult. So if you are of an appropriate age to read this, you feel like you're comfortable with it, pick it up, because oh my god, it is so amazing. And that's really all I have to say about this book. Yep. Pick it up. Just do it. Just do it. You won't regret it. It is so good. And the cover is just so pretty. Oh. Including under the dust jacket. Let me undo the dust jacket, which I can't do one-handed. the inside. Ah, the inside is just also really pretty. So thank you for watching today. Oh, look at that. Oh, sweaty. Thank you for watching. I feel like I'm a little bit high, but I'm not. I just ate lunch. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. Well, I don't really drink. But I feel a little bit hyperactive. So this probably was the most incoherent, inconsistent bumble of a review you have ever seen. But this is what happens when I'm filming on a cam. I feel a lot more cash. It's short for casual. Yeah. So I will see you next time with probably another review, hopefully before the end of the month. But otherwise, I'll see you with my end of the month March wrap up in like 2 weeks-ish or whenever the end of the month is. I'll see you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you thought of the Mime Order down below if you've read it. Oh, that shaked the cam a lot. Oh, sorry. And I will see you next time. Bye. Sorry, this must have been atrocious.